One by one, the uniforms of fallen soldiers were stripped off, packed together, and loaded onto a train bound for the clothing factory. In a massive pool, the bloodstains were washed away. After drying, female workers carefully patched the holes in the fabric. Then, these uniforms would be worn by the next batch of soldiers, like a cycle of life and death. Excited recruits received their uniforms, only to find someone else's name already on them. Thinking there was a mistake, one of them asked his officer, but the officer simply tore off the name tag, explaining that the previous owner's uniform didn't fit. What these eager young men didn't realize was that their new uniforms were already soaked in the souls of countless fallen soldiers. At that moment, a recruiter gave a passionate speech. Under his stirring words, the recruits grew even more eager, dreaming of glory as they marched off to war, singing all the way. But their first lesson came swiftly. A few French artillery shells landed nearby, instantly shattering their illusions. By the time they finally reached the battlefield, their first order wasn't to fight, it was to use their helmets to clear rainwater from the trenches. Disappointed, for recruits exchanged uneasy glances. This wasn't the heroic battle they had imagined. That night, one of them heard the cries of a wounded enemy nearby. This was his first chance to take a life on the battlefield. Without hesitation, he aimed and pulled the trigger. But before he could even react, a bullet sent him flying backward. Fortunately, his steel helmet saved him. A veteran leaned down and warned him, "After you shoot, move. The battlefield doesn't give second chances." Just then, flares lit up the sky. Two soldiers stared at them in awe, mesmerized as if watching fireworks. Suddenly, artillery shells rained down near the trench. The soldiers scrambled into a bunker for cover. But one recruit couldn't handle the pressure. Ignoring the other's warnings, he bolted outside. Within seconds, an explosion blew him apart. At the same time, the already fragile bunker collapsed with a deafening crash. By the next morning, the battlefield was a wasteland of destruction, littered with bodies. A barely breathing recruit was pulled from the rubble he had once again brushed past death. Now, his officer assigned him to collect the dog tags of the fallen. But he hadn't gone far before he stepped on a pair of glasses. A terrible feeling surged through him. In their squad, only one person wore glasses, his childhood friend. And when Paul finally found him, he truly understood the cruelty of war.